Hello everyone, this is Admin Cajonas. Welcome to the Blood Red instructional video. Obviously the first thing you're going to see when you try to get into the server is this login menu with all the different spawns. Now, be warned, this is Electro right here. This is our main PvP zone, followed closely by below that. If you're new to the game and you don't spawn with a loadout, I strongly advise that you do not spawn neither one. This up here is Cherno, Berezino, Sonichi, and Kamenka. If you're a new player, I recommend you spawn in one of these three. Alright guys, well, this is something everybody should know. When you spawn, you will spawn somewhere along the coast, regardless of which spawn point you pick. Now, I picked the Sonichi spawn, so it's obviously spawns me in the vicinity of Sonichi. There's a couple different spawns, 3 to 4 depending on location, and it'll vary. Now you're probably wondering, how did it spawn with such a good backpack? Well, the reason being is that we provide donor perks in the server. If you donate a X amount of money, you can get weapons, backpacks, survival tools, etc., etc. In my case, it was a check backpack and the G36A, which I will be dropping to demonstrate
Hey,
what a
wake up.
brand new player has to do in the server. Alright, so more or less this is going to be your starting guide. We frequently change it to keep the game interesting, but for the time being this is all you will spawn with, so use it wisely. Alright, so the first order of business is to try and get a weapon, since you already spawn with food and water, so it's no big deal. Now, be advised that this is a day and night server, so come nighttime, you probably will be needing night vision goggles, which are pretty rare. There are quite a few vehicles in the server, something in the neighborhood of 300. The majority of them are broken, but in cases like this, you can simply go inside and see what you're working with. In the top left corner, it tells you the condition of the vehicle. This one's banged up, but it should run and it's got a little bit of fuel. There's a couple different locations on the map with gas stations. It's up to you to play and familiarize yourself with them. But once you get to one, all you have to do is drive up to it and hit the refuel key. Hit your mouse scroll and then refuel. And as you can see, it'll refuel pretty quickly. Now I got lucky and I found a vehicle, but the majority of the time when you spawn, you will not find one. So you're going to spend a lot of time on foot. Get used to it. This is Dayz. Now up on the left is an industrial building. We're going to look for a toolbox and a scrap metal. In this server we have a custom craft table. So if you manage to find a toolbox and a scrap metal, you can build yourself a bicycle, which is a heck of a lot quieter than this vehicle. But first we're going to hit up the farmhouse to see if we can find a decent weapon. Alright guys, so now once you're to these farmhouses, you want to walk up there. You don't want to drive all the way up there because there's a chance loot won't spawn in quite yet. It takes a couple minutes for it to spawn, especially if you drive up. Now if you walk up, you have a better opportunity of it spawning. Now, you want to be careful with these zombies. You don't want to get hit. A lot of them, they do quite a bit of damage. About 9 hits will get you killed. And see, this one isn't infected. You can usually tell their faces are a little wider, but the ones that aren't infected can infect you with sepsis. And sepsis can only be cured with wipes, which are pretty rare unless you're in a hospital. There we go. Now, I noticed a hatchet over here. You always want to pick these up. They'll help you, chop wood. And they're a little bit better than machetes for killing Zeds. Alright, so you always want to try and get all the food and water, ammo, that kind of thing. I don't have my survival ACU, you will. So you'll have a little bit of extra room. You don't need nails and empty tin cans, they're pretty useless. Now, this is probably the best entry-level gun you can get, the Lee Enfield. Now what you want to do is move your machete down and move your Lee Enfield in. This gun's a one-shot knockout to the upper body within 300 meters. You want to keep exploring all of these buildings, seeing if you can find any useful stuff. Just take one extra one for now. Take all the ammo you can for now. Worry about space later. Now, you won't always find a weapon, so don't get discouraged. There's always more farms to check out. Don't need any more ammo. Alright, so up next, we're going to try hitting up the industrial building, see if we can find a toolbox or some scrap metal. Ow. There we go, toolbox. You want to get this quickly before the Zeds get back to you. Now, you don't have to check every building, and obviously the population's a little low right now, but when it gets up there, you want to be really cautious around here. You won't be the only one here, especially after people see this video. Now, in the top right corner of your screen is your debug monitor. It'll show your current blood, humanity, yes I know I'm a bandit, the zombies killed, murders, bandits killed, and uptime. Now, uptime, our server restarts every 2 to 3 hours. You know, it varies. We constantly change it, but at the moment it's 2 hours. So, uptime of 14 minutes means the server's been running for 14 minutes. Do the math and you get how long until the next restart. Before every restart, you want to do two things. Save your vehicles and abort. If you do not abort or save your vehicles, there's a chance you can lose one or both. And be very careful when zombies are nearby. They can damage your vehicle and they will eat out your tires. Now, I don't know why my vehicle was a little damaged before the restart, but now it's partially repaired, which means there's a little bug going on, but that's okay. Use it to your advantage. Alright, now from here, I'm planning on going to Berezino, which is up here on the map. Now, this is where you are. This little blue dot on the map, that is you. You don't need a GPS anymore to show that. Now, if you want to see how far away you're from a specific location, left shift and left click on it. And this little circle comes up. Now on your screen it'll appear as a green distance in meters, and that's how far away you are from something. Now there's a lot of debris. Do not hit any of this stuff regardless of what vehicle you have. There's a really good chance you'll destroy your vehicle. Drive slowly, make it through everything. Alright. Stores like this are a fantastic location to get gear from. Now, I got here a little too quick, so the gear hasn't quite spawned. Just give it a few minutes and I'll be back. This is the hospital. There are a couple different ones across the map. Now, this is really the only place where you can get medical supplies from. The easiest way to get in is look for the front door and shoot the left side a couple times. In my case, once. This is a pretty good weapon, like I said. Now, inside of here, there's some really good stuff like blood bags, morphine. that kind of thing. I'm gonna drop my road flares because I'm not gonna need them till nighttime, and even in nighttime they're not really that good. Give myself a blood bag. Now, in this server, you are allowed to self blood bag, so find a safe location, self blood bag. Another thing you really want in your inventory is antibiotics. Now, here they go. They're a little white box. They're pretty important because if you start getting hit by Zeds, or you eat or drink an infected piece of meat or water, you will get infected and you will start losing blood. So pick these up whenever you can. Now, if you're getting chased by zombies and you really need to bandage, blood bag, etc., a really good place to hide is inside a bush like this one. Now, make sure you can put your character all the way in. And the Zeds will not be able to hit you in here. Eventually, they'll lose interest and walk away. Now, when you're self-blood bagging, it takes quite a bit of time. So you want to be in a really secure location. You don't get the full blood bag. You get approximately 6,000. So it's always best to have a buddy or somebody you trust blood bag. Now, there's a chance these blood bags might be infected, which is why we need our antibiotics. Alright, well, lucky for me, no infection, and I'm back to full blood. Alright, well, still finally spawned in here. What I really need is a small backpack, which I doubt I'll find. But that's okay. Oh, here we go. Alice back, this is perfect. There we go. That'll give me a nice little amount. Now, to access your backpack, simply hit G for gear and double click on the backpack. This one has 16 slots, which is a pretty good amount. Gotta get out of here before these zombies corral me. Go back to the hospital and load up more med supplies. They're really important, guys. And take all the extra morphine you can. You know, nothing worse out there than having a broken leg and having to crawl 5,000 meters to find some morphine. Trust me, it sucks. Alright, now painkillers aren't too important. You don't need too many of those. It's only important when you're actually in a gunfight. You may need one at the most. Oh, well, I need to get out of town. These zombies are starting to build up a little too much. See, they nicked up my wheels pretty good. They almost popped them, so you gotta be careful with them. Alright guys, so from here we have a couple choices. What do you want to do? Do you want to PvP or do you just want to stay alive? Now, if you want to stay alive, being in a car is probably not the best idea. It draws a lot of attention. People in helicopters are constantly looking for people. Now, you want to get some better gear. That's cool. A good idea is to head towards the Snowy Starry area and around Green Mountain. There's a lot of crash sites all over the map. Now, I don't advise going to northeast, northwest, or below the airfields. They have barracks, yes, but other players go there to farm the gear. So you probably will get in a firefight and you probably will lose and still have way better gear than you. So in my case, I am going to try driving around towards Novi, seeing if I can find some better gear. As you're driving around, you always want to be on the lookout for stuff. See, in my case, I just found a little motorcycle here. Check the gear, see if anything's inside. Nothing of real value. No. Uh-oh. Well, it's flipped. So, not much you can do about that. But what you can do is salvage it for parts. So first you want to make a little bit of room in your backpack. Leave yourself at least one mag to defend yourself in case shit hits the fan. Now this will only work with a toolbox. Go up to a vehicle, scroll down to where it says salvage. Click on that. Now, it gives you percentages. It's a game of percentages. If it says 100%, it should give you the item without breaking it. Now, in my case, my little car needs a little bit of a wheel, so I'll take one of these. Now wait until the process is complete. There's a chance it could get canceled. Come up to your car, scroll down to repair. Oh, never mind. Apparently everything's good on it. That's weird. Even though it does say it's damaged. Nonetheless, I'll put the tire away for later. Now this is probably the neatest part about the server. Under salvage, you manage to get yourself a body, which is a scrap metal. You'll be able to custom build a bicycle. So you get your scrap metal, go to an open location, scroll wheel, and hit deploy bike. And voila. Now I'm gonna take this instead. It's quieter, and I really don't want to, for people to hear me coming. Now when you're on these, make sure Zeds don't hit you. If you get knocked out while going full speed, you probably will die. But the good thing about bicycles is that they maintain their speed for the most part even off-road. So I don't have to take the main roads, which are more likely to be populated by other players. Now, towns like this, they don't really spawn good stuff. You'll get food and water, so if you need food and water, obviously go inside the buildings, but otherwise just avoid them. Keep the Zeds off you, keep you out of trouble. Now, these bicycles that you deploy will disappear after restart. So, the best thing to do is park them, salvage, and salvage the body out of them if you can. That way you can spawn a new one after the restart. Alright guys, I'm approaching the Novi area. Now, you want to keep an eye out for little smoke pillars. Hopefully I can find one to demonstrate with you guys. Alright guys, well I haven't seen any crash sites, so what I'm going to try is heading up to Starry. They have a couple of med tents and weapon tents. Now there are a lot of Zeds there, so I have to be really careful, and well obviously other players can be there. Alright, so I'm going to try parking my bicycle here in case I need to make a getaway. Now you want to try crouching, so you don't draw too much Zed attention. Now, here's another thing. Helicopters give you a little bit of a safe zone. If you get near them, Zeds can't follow you. So if they start to overwhelm you, just go there for shelter. Oh boy. The Glock. Take that. Very nice little secondary. Ooh. Now, if you hit this down arrow here, it'll switch your machete to your primary. And then you can drop your machete and wield two primaries. It's a pretty neat trick, but obviously only good when you have more than one weapon. And these Zeds are going to aggro on me in a second. Oh, there he goes. Uh-oh. Ouch. Let's see if I can quickly find a different weapon here. The M4s are okay, they're not the best. I prefer Lee Enfield over that, but oh, sandbag. I'll show you guys what you can do with that in a second. Alright, I need to lose these Zeds. So, like I said, come to the safe zone over here by the helicopter. I can't exactly come in here. And then in this case, hopefully this has some ammo. You can start blowing their brains out. Now, something you should know about Zeds, unless you have a high-powered weapon like the M240 on this helicopter, they will not go down in one shot unless you hit them in the head. Alright, so an M4 isn't much, especially with only one mag, but it's better than nothing. It'll help us at the next site we're going to, which will hopefully be a crash site. Alright guys, so I noticed there's another AI site and it just happened to be right next to me, so I'm gonna go check it out, see their numbers, be careful with other players, that sort of thing. Now AIs typically won't aggro past 300 meters. They can, but they normally won't, so it's a good way to check if there's other players nearby, if they're moving or not. Get that AM field out. You want to try and place yourself on the highest hill possible, overlooking them. These just happen to be right next to the road. Never know, you might run into players here. Now, I'll take this time to talk about player interaction. A lot of people here pretend they're helpful, but in reality, they're just there to, murder you. So, if someone asks you on side chat if you want to team with them, that's on you. If you die, we can't do anything about it. Now, if you want a safe, secure way to team up with somebody, join our TeamSpeak. I'll post the link on the bottom to our TeamSpeak. If they kill you and you're in their TeamSpeak, that's a bannable offense, and we will ban them. So you're protected in that sense. But any other way in game, be careful. Let's speed a little too easy off over there in the distance, but I don't see any AI. Oh, I can see the AI. There's a good 4 of them. I'm not sure if they're dead or alive though. I wonder if anyone's gotten them yet. Alright, okay, so those AIs are definitely alive. And my problem is there's a lot of Zeds nearby, so try and reposition here. Now be careful, after their first couple shots, these guys will start lighting you up. And they have godly aim, they'll headshot you every time. See if I can hit this shot. It's 1 down. Should be 2 down. One's still alive. And we have some. Alright guys, well I got hit a little too much by those Zeds, so you notice how my screen's shaking a little bit when I aim? Well, to cure that, take a painkiller. And you'll be good as new. I'm gonna scrap one away. Alright, let's try this again. I think there's just 1, maybe 2 AIs left. Oh, never mind, there's a couple more. They're our friends. Alright, I think I got them all now. For the most part, this is approximately 5 of them. But oftentimes they'll have a heck of a lot more. Oh, there's another one. Uh oh, helicopter. No, that helicopter overhead's gonna be a little bit of a problem. Alright guys, well that helicopter left. You want to know part of this, so all the AIs are dead as well. Got that last one, while that helicopter was nearby. And you still want to be a little bit cautious. Nobody shot me while I was killing them, man. So I'm assuming I'll be home free, but you never know. Alright, let's see what we got here. These have pretty good stuff. Let's, judging by these. Oh, there we go, G36. That's my spawn gun, but I'll take it nonetheless. And I'll take the check back and just move all my gear in there. You always want to do this because sometimes when you pick up a new backpack, yours can get destroyed. See what else we got. Hopefully we can find ourselves a nice little sniper. Now, I got lucky with these. These, you know, it was a relatively small group, but oftentimes they're 10 to 12, even more. So you don't exactly want to challenge them head on like I did there until you get a little better. I picked myself up an M4 Hollow. These are really good for killing zombies, you know, keeping yourself hidden from other players. A little bit of extra ammo. And now we're decently geared. Alright, now the vehicles that spawn at AI sites, guys, you don't really want to have them for too long because they will disappear after every restart. So make sure you don't leave your stuff in there or you will lose it and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, it's time to be a little bit more adventurous now. Zelenogorsk right now spawns 3 custom barracks, and because of that, this has suddenly become our biggest PvP zone that's not by the shore. So I'm going to go here just to show you guys what I mean, but I'd advise you avoid it until you get a little better. Well, I found this Huey. Obviously somebody was working on it. They're not around though. Only problem is it's a little busted. And I know it looks good as new, right? But it's not. You can check this by going under repair, and you'll see that the H rotor is a little damaged. Now here's the thing about Hueys, if they're even a little bit damaged, they will leak fuel. So all the fuel you try to put into them will leak straight out. So until you get another H rotor, don't try to fuel something like this up. Now everything's important. The glass has to be perfect. The glass is probably the most important thing when it comes to fuel. It leaks out the quickest. That's some trash as well. Alright guys, now you see that smoke plume out there in the distance? That is a crash site. So we're gonna go there. Hopefully we find something. Boy, this one looks like it's been picked clean. Oh no, a little bit of gear. You can usually tell by looking at it from a distance and you can make out shapes on the ground. I believe I see an M14. This is probably the best close to mid-range weapon you can get. It uses the powerful DMR rounds and it'll be perfect for me. Ooh, an FAO. This is a really rare gun at crash sites, but the ammo's just as rare. Oh. Oh, my lucky day. DMR on the other side. Alright, well, that was an exceptionally good crash site. Exceptionally good. Unfortunately, I only found one mag. That's okay. So a good idea would be to pick up my G36 again. Leave it in my backpack until I find something else. Alright, well, I picked up the G36 again. I'll put it in my backpack. I don't want to run out of ammo and then I'll be really screwed. Now, if you're wondering how to get ghillie suits, it's either barracks or crash sites, really. You can find them at AI sites, but they're pretty uncommon, so don't get discouraged. Well, here's a good tip, guys. If you're ever driving down the road, don't have your sniper equipped. If you start getting shot, more than likely it'll be at close range, and your sniper isn't going to cut it at that range. Alright, now you don't want to drive all the way into town. That'll make you a big white target in my case. You want to park a little bit of a ways away, like here. Don't worry about the vehicle. This one's going to disappear anyway, so not really too worried. I'm going to keep my M14 out because at close range I can take anyone out in one shot. No, not kill them, but it will knock them out. Now a good idea, mark a point of reference on the map. In my case, it'll be the industrial building in the southwest corner of Zelenogorsk. It'll help me keep my bearings since I don't have a compass. You know, it's on my left side, it's obviously to my west, and if it's on my right side, it's to my east, and so on and so forth. Now, when you're walking through the woods where you suspect there are players, don't run around, you know. The human eye is attracted to fast motion, so running around like this will probably get you seen, but if you're crouching, it's a little bit more difficult to see you, you know, especially with the grass. It partially conceals you, at least at close range. At long range, the grass disappears. It's just textures like that, little milky textures. Alright, so now the town's coming into view, and this is where you want to be a little bit more cautious. Now, I'm going to pull out my DMR, scope out the town a little bit. Oh, look at that, we got a player. Now, obviously from here, you have a decision to make. Do you want to be a bandit and kill the poor guy, or not? Oh, he's a really bad driver. Let's see what he wants to do. Pretty good though, because hopefully he'll draw out some shots for me. You know, this guy, he doesn't appear to be a threat. I'm just gonna let him drive off. No need to ruin his day just yet. Keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't. Oh. How you doing, buddy? Now, to look around, what I do is I hold my left Alt key. Just move your mouse around. You always want to be checking out your surroundings in the forest. Alright, here's a chance. I'll demonstrate a little bit of sniping for you guys. It's different from gun to gun. Well, actually it's different between the types of snipers at least. There's 3 different types of aim sights. The DMR version, the SVD version, and the standard sniper version. Now with the DMR, the mil-dot zeroing is different. The middle in this case is zeroed at 125 in the standard zoom. But if you hold your right mouse button in, it'll zoom and it turns the 0 into 350, with each subsequent dot representing a different value. So dead in the middle is 350 and the second one is 475. However, if you zoom out, the second mil dot is 400. I know it's a little confusing. You have to look it up and practice with the value. That's the only way you'll get good at it. Now with a regular sniper, it'll be zoomed in approximately this much, and you get the ability to zero your gun using the page up and page down keys. The SVD, on the other hand, it's got a little bit of a complicated sight, and I don't recommend it for beginners. Alright guys, well I was going to go into Zelenogorsk to show you guys the barracks, but I don't see the need. I'm geared. I mean, obviously it's a risk if you do it. Now I'm just going to go over some of the spawns real quick. This is Kamenka. If you click the Kamenka spawn, you'll spawn in the vicinity of this. Balota will get you in this circle approximately. Cherno will be around this area. Electra will be around this area. And then the Sonichi spawn can spawn you pretty wide array of spots from up here all the way to down here. Man, same thing with the Berezino. It's a little random per se. But well, guys, that concludes the video. Thanks for watching.